Today, what I want to talk about is a different point of view on the cost of invisibility. So, when this conversation happens, and it's critically important that we talk about the inner version of what happens when we have a fear of visibility or when we are doing things or there are obstacles for us to become visible. Um, and I actually did a wisdom panel on that in the Real 50 Over 50 about a year ago, and I had four brilliant panelists. So I'm not going to focus on that. In the accompanying article for this live stream, there are some sound bites from these incredible panelists, plus links for you to get to know them a little better. If they have Substacks, I linked to their Substacks so you can connect with them. I'm just going to share their names here. It's Adrienne Garland, who is the founder and CEO of She Leads Media. Paige Onoff Fenn, who is the founder of a marketing agency called Marketing and Mavens. Ellen Williams, who her business is the Salient Strategist, and she also has a podcast about pausing. And I can't remember the exact name right now, but it's in the article. And she's interviewed me too. And I was actually even included in her book that she recently launched. So, again, see how this all cycles together. We're all doing things together, we're growing together. And that's going to continue to happen here on Substack. And Jen Goulbrand. And Jen is she does all kinds of amazing things. She's recently relocated to Cape Cod, and she offers all kinds of wellness events and services through her facility that she's opened in Cape Cod. So those are the people that will give you all of the inside stuff. Today, I'm going to take you into a totally different conversation about what happens when we become invisible online. And a lot of it has to do with how we structure our content. And before I dive in, I want to just give a little disclaimer here. Don't shut down when I start talking about SEO and technical things, because the way to resolve this is really not technical. It's about just having some understanding about how these tools work and how to structure your content so you can actually be found. Because you can create the best content in the world, but if the people that you're writing this for or filming this for can't find you, we're back to the if the tree falls in the woods, does anybody hear it, right? So we have to create content that serves two audiences. One is the human beings that we want to meet. The other audience is the ever-changing landscape of search engines that is making our content visible. And again, I'm just going to say it again for those in the back of the room. It doesn't have to be technical. It doesn't have to be hard. And it certainly does not have to be expensive. You'll be hearing a lot about new ways of being found through AI. But honestly, I have been doing this for at least 10 years. And it's more about listening and understanding your audience, the words that they use, and where they show up online. So then you can kind of continue to listen to them, see what they're talking about, and use their words to reflect their words back to them, and then position them in areas and in formats that the search engines are actually looking for. So it does not need to be hard. You do not need to hire some SEO agency. If you're a really small micro business like I am, they can't help you, because what they're doing is way beyond what you need, and you're going to end up spending a lot of money on something that you don't even need. And you're the one that's doing the writing in your business, or you're closely connected to the person who is doing the writing in your business. And there are simple strategies that you can put in place that, as long as you're consistent with them, you'll start showing up. And this is the part where things have improved so dramatically. The tools are optimized, so you don't have to do the optimization. You just need to know where to put the content, and the tools are doing the optimization for you. So I'm going to explain a little bit um, how this all works. And I am then going to share some results that I have had just in a couple of days. I mean, I am seriously blown away. I am not often blown away by tools because I've been using them for so long. I've been doing this stuff since the 1990s in one form or another. Okay. So I just have some notes here so I don't forget anything. So we're going to talk about the flip side of all the selves. If you want to go deeper into the more emotional side of this, head on over to the wisdom panel. I put a link in the article. You can get that there. Um, so what we're going to talk about today is how you get found. And um, first, we have an abundance of content that isn't prepared to be found. I mean, how many brilliant things are you saying on Zoom calls that you have in little half-written notes, even PDFs on your website are really, they're getting buried. They're not being shared, right? They're not being um, uh, searched for by search engines, by answer engines. Okay. So there's a whole list in the article there. So please go read the article because it's got some more detail in it. But there are all of these different like areas of content that we have that nobody even knows about. We forget about it. We just do something, we move on to the next. I mean, podcasts. How many brilliant things do you say in podcasts that you do the podcast, you share it once, maybe twice, maybe three times. The podcaster has it. Now you're depending on like what kind of job the podcaster does on sharing information on the podcast page. Are they putting the transcript on there? Are they putting a summary? Are they putting anything? It could just all be lost in the noise of the internet. But what if you started to gather those things? What if you like took transcriptions from client calls? You took transcriptions, even talking to yourself. You're taking a shower, you have a great idea, as soon as you get out of the shower, like record that into a voice note on your phone. You could take all of these things and build them into a living library of your content and use this in different ways that you can repurpose it. This is exactly what I did for this entire series. I took a year's worth of articles from LinkedIn that I wrote, and I took transcripts from the Real 50 Over 50 interview, and I pulled it all together in AI tools to create, to bring it all together. So it all, my work and the interviews and things I don't remember saying on podcasts have all come together into one place. So uh, uh, let me just give a little explanation of the different terminologies there, because it used to just be SEO, search engine optimization, and it had to do a lot about links and where you landed on a Google page. But even before AI, that had started to change quite a bit around the intent of the content. So then came search intent, then came EEAT, which is how Google measures your authority based on the quality of the content you share and the relevance of the content you share based on everything that it knows about you. And that has just kind of, and then there was also search listening. So that's like, what I was talking about earlier, like listening to the people that are the people that you want to connect with. What are they saying on social media? What are they saying when they're in podcasts? So, starting to get into not just posting on social media, but connecting to people based on what they're saying, right? And Substack is like built for this. So then there is, and that still works, but not so much about how you're showing up in Google searches, but how you're being searched for. Because it's not just the Google searches anymore. You're being searched for everywhere. So you need to be consistent across all the platforms. I mean, part of the reason we have become invisible on LinkedIn is LinkedIn has changed their algorithms to something called Brew 360. And I'm going to do more information on that. But it's really focusing not so much on blocks of keywords keyword driven content in your profile, but that you are showing authority across the board, that it's measuring how you show up everywhere on LinkedIn. And the key to that, and I'm testing this too because it's all relatively new, but the key to that is being consistent, about the times you post, the days you post, and the types of content that you post. So it's none of this is technical. It's about understanding and nuance, and this is part of what I'm going to be bringing through all of this, and through my whole presence here on Substack, and it's going to be primarily about LinkedIn, Substack, and YouTube. Those are the platforms that I'm going to focus on, and it's going to be how they work together. I mean, I can't even sleep anymore because I'm so excited about all of this. Anyway, but let me get back to the SEO, AEO, and GEO. So SEO is basically the same thing, and this is how you structure content, primarily on your website, on platforms like Substack, on LinkedIn. You want it to be easy to read, easy to digest, manageable. You still want the keywords in there. You need to know what those keywords are. You need to understand who your audience is. None of that has changed. And if you don't have all of that, you need to go back and do that before you start pushing on any big campaign, because you're going to be just veering off in the wrong direction if you don't understand what you do, who it's for, why it matters, and the difference that it makes. Until you have those four things down, you are speaking to yourself. But anyway, the next two are AEO, which is answer engine optimization. And this is a key element to how you are found in AI searches. And it has to do with how you position your content and just a couple of back end technical things on your website. It AI tools, people are going into AI tools and asking questions, and AI tools want to deliver. They want to please whoever's asking that question. So what they're searching for is a question and a solution. So if you format your content as a question, the questions that people are asking, and a solution, your response, your solution, how you would resolve that question, that's what it starts to pick up. And if you put FAQs on your website, if you format your content on social media as questions and answers, like my clients have been asking this lately, and this is what I have been telling them. That's the kind of stuff that comes up. And just Google a question. Google a question that you might want to write an article about and see how it comes up in the results. And there are tools that could help with this, and none of this is expensive. Most of it is free. And AI, even just asking AI, like pick a topic and say, I want to create some structured content around these 5 questions that my clients always ask. Can you help me create that? So, we have this information. People ask us these questions. Answer those questions, because if these are your clients and these are your best clients, there are going to be more people out there asking those same questions, and it's likely that they're your clients as well. And I also don't want you to always think of this as I'm only looking for my next client. Build community around this. I mean, audience is so many different things. It's not just your next client. So think about all of the people that you engage with, the tools that you engage with, the organizations you want to be connected with. That is all your audience. Okay, and now we're going to go to GEO. GEO is generative engine optimization, and that has also more to do with the structure and how you structure your content, because it's the tools are looking for specific things. And again, none of this is overly technical. It's really how understanding what it's looking for, and how you structure your content. So why is this important now? Because there's people out there that don't know what you know, and they're getting ahead of you, and they are maybe giving somebody bad advice because they know how to structure their content better. And that's the difference. That's what's keeping you from the people that you want to connect with. So I'm going to say this over and over again. It's time to put all the objections aside and just get your hands on the keyboard and be open to learning new ways to doing things. Because I mean, what we can do right now without a lot of tech, without hiring anybody, without doing much of anything, just learning a few new ways to do things, um, is absolutely incredible. And some of this stuff will change, but some of it's not going to, because it really is based on things that have been in place for a very long time. So all of the things that I'm talking about, are primarily things that aren't going to change very much. I have mastered this in my business years ago when I was, heavy into social media, and social media was changing so much that I had to find a way to balance out the things that change and the things that don't. And I've become really good at this. So follow me, I will show you. Anyway, let's see what else I have on my list here. Okay, so rented land. Another reason that I am very excited about Substack is you own your content, you own your list, you own your voice. So these are three things that if Substack turns into something you're not comfortable being on, or it's not working out for you for some reason, you could take all of those things and you can port them over someplace else. This changes everything, because I was sitting looking at a year's worth of content that I created on LinkedIn that very few people were seeing, and I couldn't control any of it. And for me to take it out of there, I had to literally copy paste every newsletter and put it someplace else. And I did. I spent several hours doing that. And now I have it in a database and I could do a million things with it. It was so incredibly empowering. But then the other thing that I did when I was writing this article for this live stream was I went into an incognito browser and I Googled my own name. And the first video that showed up was a Substack live stream that I did about a month ago. Okay, that came up above everything else. All of the interviews I've done, all of the articles I've written, all of the podcasts that I've been on. I have been online for, 20 years. And that is what came up first. And then on page 2, there were 3 Substack articles, including the one that I published the day before. That's insane. I mean, the platform is doing the work for you. In the past, what you would have to do to be able to get, it would take months for that to happen, if it happened at all, because you were competing with ads. All right. There's no ads on Substack. So you're not competing with ads. You can quickly grow this if you know how to do this. And the other thing that happened is I made $1,000. I wasn't even really trying. um, I don't even know what else to say. This stuff works. It works. And what makes me so excited about all of it is this is so tied into the work that I have been doing for such a long time. I feel like the tools have finally caught up to what I have been teaching people to do for a long time, and makes it so much easier. Even like on the private work side of my business, when I work one-to-one with clients, when I would, do a big visibility project for a client, it would take me 5 or 6 weeks to, go into deep research mode, spend hours upon hours creating all of this very specific strategy for them. I could now do this in 5 or 6 hours, and it's better than what I was creating before. So understanding how these tools work together, um, nothing is a silo. It's all connected, and I want to share this. I'm going to share a ton on the free subscriber level, um, but I'm really going to go deep in the um, in the founding members level, and teach things that in the past I was charging $5,000 to teach people this. So I this is, shameless self promotion here, but join me, because I'm telling you, it will be the best $300 you ever spent. Links are everywhere, and I'm on fire. So get on board. And um, I am not doing these lives over the weekend, but On Monday, we're going to be back, and the topic is going to be remembering versus reinvention. And this is another one of my topics that I kind of go on about for hours, but I won't. I'll just do about 15 minutes or so. And please connect with me. I will connect back, and I am really, very excited about being here and growing community here and teaching people how to really leverage um, the three powerful platforms. So thanks for joining, and I will see you soon.